One time I wrote it down.
You did?
Yeah, one time.
Where'd you write it?
That was on a piece of paper. No, on the wall. That's where I did it. With chalk. But how I usually remember them, I keep my climbing shoes in the ninja room, so I can remember it on my way going out.
But I think as adults, we all know that to experience extreme frustration, to experience a big emotional thing, and then to come back and do it anyway.
Yeah.
That is not easy.
No.
Takes, you can't stop yourself from feeling your feelings, but it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to feel your feelings and then put them aside and be like, okay, these are the feelings I feel. I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to go do this thing anyway, and not be controlled by your emotions in the driver's seat.
And I think that I would say that's my biggest piece of advice to the parents of late elementary, early elementary kids. How can you start building this executive functioning foundation? If you can, if it's within your means, if it works with your family's schedule, extracurriculars, an activity, a sport, an instrument, something outside of school, because the reality is elementary school is very focused on building those foundational academic skills. But these type of low risk failures, if you want to build how to weather those in at a younger age, I think that's the best way to do it. Team sports, stuff like that.
I mean, it also teaches all of the other executive functioning things. If you do have a little extracurricular outside of school, you have to plan for that. I have a meeting, I have practice, I have whatever. What do I need for that? Do I need to eat now? Do I eat later?
Yep.
Organization, do I have my shoes for it? Am I wearing the right clothes? Your time management, do I need to do my homework now or later? You know, it builds.
It builds across.
It builds, yeah.
I think of just Ben does ninja twice a week. Monday, Thursday. He comes home from school, he has to do his homework right away, especially on Mondays because ninja starts at 5:30 and he gets home from school at about 3. And we have a quick turnaround because traffic on the highway is bad at that time. It takes us longer to get there. So he's got to do his homework and he's got to eat something. And then he has to make sure he has on the right pair of shoes. And those are his things. I check that homework. I get the food ready while he's doing it. But that's this low level executive functioning that we're building right now in 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
Homework, food, ninja shoes.
Homework, food, snacks.
Yeah, snacks are always important.
I mentioned food twice.
Yeah. So do you have, before we shift into our 3rd episode, do you have closing thoughts on executive functioning, particularly as a former high school teacher? And I think that's a really great perspective, is that we're on the, as we've mentioned, we're on the bookends of this middle school readiness era. Why is building and coaching your students through developing these skills, why is that so important?
Well, I guess the first thing I want to say about that is odds are in middle school, the job will not be done. Because kids come to 9th grade and they're still just how did you get here? Oh my gosh, 18-year-olds walk through the door and you're like, how did you manage to show up to school fed with your homework? It's how are you getting from point A to point B? But at some point they just gotta fly. Even if their little wings are still wet, they just gotta fly. And they just gotta, so do your best, because it's so important that kids learn how to nail down all these executive functioning skills in K-12 because when they get to other places, like training for a job or whatever post-secondary thing that you do, you're paying money for that. Odds are you're paying money for that. Or even if you're going for free, that really counts. So like, if you go get a free 2-year degree, but your executive functioning skills are terrible and you walk out of your free 2-year degree with a C average, you just wasted it.
Right.
So like, you know, when the little bird flies out of the nest, you want their wings to be as dry as possible.
Right.
Because one way or the other, they're leaving the nest.
Yeah.
And their wings are going to be like dry and fluffy and ready to go, or they're going to not be, to make a baby bird metaphor. But so like, if I had to make a list, it would be a planner. Your middle schooler needs to know how to use a planner. Even if they push back, keep encouraging it. They have to manage their backpack independently. Even if they push back, you got to encourage it. Like, you can't just let go. And I mean, I'm not a parent, but like, I was a teacher, so like, I know, like, you have to persevere. You can't just be like, well, I'm not going to care about this anymore.
Yeah.
That is not an option as a teacher. Like, coach them to manage their study routines, because they don't want you telling them what to do, and you don't want to have to tell them what to do. That's mutual. So like,
But it's got to get done.
but coaching
That's
them to
reality.
manage it themselves can maybe bring more peace to life.
I think, I think something you said that I really think segues us nicely into like what we're going to talk about in our third episode on this, is that like, don't give up on them. Like, middle school is a challenging time. Academic rigor, executive functioning expectations, and what we're going to be talking about next, socio-emotional development. Like, where they are hormonally and developmentally, like up here, they're going to be very challenging. They might be little nightmares, depending on your young person, for a period of time. And like, they need you to stick with them so that when they get to teachers like Amanda in 9th grade, they understand their pencil is not single use and you don't throw it away when it's done, when you're done using it. They understand that I have to keep a planner, or I have to keep my homework separate, or I have to check my book bag every day. Like, if you want them to be able to do those things, don't give up on them in middle school.
Yeah, they might not do those things perfectly, but they at least understand that they are important and strive to.
And someday, when you're on the other side of the hormones, because I know this from my own experience with my mother, bless her heart, because I was, I was really good at school, but I was a challenging, emotionally young person. And like, she never gave up on supporting me and being there for me and guiding me. Like, when I came to her, she wasn't like, well, you didn't want to hear this the first time, so I'm not. She was like, okay, fresh slate, let's go.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things I can take away, like, into my own parenthood journey, is like, don't give up on them.
Yeah. And
Teachers
always
also.
keep in mind, like, if there's a kid struggling, if your kid is struggling in middle school, they did great in elementary school, and all of a sudden there's struggles in middle school, it's not an intelligence gap. It's probably an executive functioning gap, and just build up those skills, totally developmentally appropriate. Build up those skills. So it's a lot of those stereotypical things that make us think middle schoolers are like lazy or procrastinating and don't want to do. It's executive functioning gaps a lot of times. So that's the skill that we got to build up in them.
It is. Because this next thing we can't really build. It's just resilience and weathering.
And weathering. Well, you can build emotional intelligence.
You can build emotional intelligence.
But you can build trust.
And you can build trust.
But
you're not changing puberty.
but you're not changing puberty.
You might not want it to happen, but it's gonna.
Well, that'll be exciting.
Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe.